And we are Velocities of Music, VIMTV. Today, guys, we're going to just jump right into this and review the new album, the third album by the band called the Cave Singers, No Witch. And it's N-O-W-I-T-C-H, so No Witch, not, the other way. This is an interesting album. I had never heard of the Cave Singers before, and it kind of reminded me of Kings of Leon, Plants and Animals, Tapes and Tapes. Even have some of the bluesiness of the White Stripes. There's one song in particular that really reminded me of the White Stripes, which is this is a style I'm a fan of, to be perfectly honest. Tito, I know that you had some good, interesting takes on this album, so I want to share with folks.
Yeah. Well, on top of the sound you said, I also thought of like Mumford & Sons mixed with like Black Rebel Motorcycle Club, because you definitely get those folksier, more acoustic tracks, but then you also have the kind of bluesy, edgy rock out tracks, and I think that's a good mixture to have on an album, and that really made me like the flow of this album overall. And I think a lot of the songs are strong. As you said, this is a style that I am just prone to enjoy, and so from there, I think it's just how good the songwriting is. And I think this album, definitely good songwriting, not amazing, but I think you would be hard-pressed to justify thinking that the songwriting is just terrible. I think that some tracks clearly stand out over others, but I don't think there's a horrible track on here. There's a good variety. I mean, it's just an enjoyable album to listen to. Now, while they're not doing anything really revolutionary, it's just a good album.
Right. And some of the songwriting that you'll have here is very, very straightforward, and there's lots of really good instrumentation too, and a variety of different instruments used in this album. Some of the highlights for me are the harmonies and the vocals. They even use some organ at times, but there's a lot of just good guitar riffs on here that I got a kick out of. I did feel like everything was a little bit too safe for me. This was more, while all these songs did kind of blend together and flow very nicely, and I found the album to be easy to listen to. I did feel like it could be a lot more. It could be, more of an album and less of a compilation, which is a criticism I seem to be throwing around a lot nowadays. But that's always there. And I did also feel like I said, since I just felt like it was not expanded enough. They could have done more with it. More contrast would have been nice, especially in the vocal department. I really felt like on the closing track called "No Prosecution If We Bail," that was the first time the vocalist really came out of his shell. I would have really liked to have seen the vocals just take over a lot more and not just have these sweet harmonized parts in the chorus, which is nice, but I want the other end of the spectrum too. I want to see dynamics in the music that I listen to, and I didn't feel like that was always there. I feel like if the Cave Singers would have aimed a little bit higher, kind of made things more conceptual, or just tried to give something to people that they haven't already heard before somewhere, that they could have actually had one of the best albums of the year, because these guys are talented. Really kind of reminds me of Tapes and Tapes, the same way I felt about that. It's a similar style to music. It's just not quite there. It's not ambitious enough to really take over. It just presents good, listenable tunes, but that's really all there is. And there's something to be said of that, but that's, to us, it's kind of a mid-70s score, which is what I'm going to give this. The one other thing I wanted to point out, I think I just lost my train of thought. I think that if you're just looking for a simple, bluesy, fun album with great songwriting, then No Witch is gonna be your token album. Please go check that out if that's what you're into. If you're looking for something deeper and more conceptualized, I would avoid this. To me, I'm gonna go 72.
72? I'm gonna go 75.
So tell us what you guys think. How does this album compare with the other Cave Singers albums? I know, as I alluded to before, I've never been predisposed to the Cave Singers. I've never had any experience with them. This is my first exposure. So leave us a comment. Tell us your favorite Cave Singers album and how this one compares. Now, like we've said in many of our reviews, Tom, this one really doesn't. We don't really issue scores based on the previous albums, which is our strategy. We want to give you a fair assessment of the album in comparison with all new music, but we are interested in your takes on the old album. So please leave us a comment at www.velocitiesofmusic.com or youtube.com/velocitiesofmusic. Anything you want to add right now?
No.
Sweet. I'm Jake.
I'm Tom.
And we are Velocities of Music, moving music critique forward.